Good morning, students.
Morning, sir.
So in previous classes we learn all about the first part of mechanical properties of fluid. So mechanical properties of fluids, I said that there are two parts. The first part, fluid static as well as fluid dynamic, and in the second part I said that we are going to learn about surface tension, contact angle, okay, surface energy. These are all the things will included in the second part of mechanical properties of fluid. So today class we are going to be start with the second part, okay. So first part we learnt it very clear conceptual understanding, and today we are going to start the second part of mechanical properties of fluid, okay. Shall we start now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we will going to start now second part. Mechanical properties of fluid part 2, second part, okay. Sorry, mechanical properties of fluid 2. In mechanical properties of fluid 2, first we are going to learn the phenomenon of surface tension, okay. What are that? Surface tension. Okay, the surface tension is denoted with an letter T, okay. Surface tension. See, surface tension in our day to day life we come across with an experience that whenever the mosquitoes are sitting onto the water surface, yes or no? Yes or no? In the same manner, some insects also walking onto the water. Are you getting my point? Then sometimes if you are leaving the needle on the surface of a water, then needle will be an float on the surface. Yes or no? In the same manner, the water drops, okay, the water drops, which shape the water drops will be? It is an square or a sphere? It is in sphere, yes or no? Water drops is always in the shape of sphere, okay. These are all the phenomena of surface tension. There is the applications of phenomenon of surface tension. These are all the things will be happen only due to the surface tension, okay. What is the surface tension? We are going to learn very clear manner with the conceptual understanding, okay. So now in the surface tension we can be defined in the two different definitions, okay. Before we are going to be learned it about the surface tension, just we have to be discuss with about cohesive force and adhesive force, okay. Do you know what do you mean by cohesive force and what do you mean by adhesive force? Do you know that? Yes? Very good. So cohesive force. So what do you mean by cohesive force, my dears? The force of attraction between the molecules of same substance is called as an cohesive force, okay. The force of attraction, see here, the force of attraction between molecules of same substance is called cohesive force. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So if you are taking the water, so the force between the one water molecule to another water molecules, the force of attraction we can call as a cohesive force. See here, so if you take the water in the container, okay, so the water is there here. In this water, if the two molecules is assumed that the two molecules, the force of attraction between the two molecules, similar molecules, we can call as an cohesive force. Then adhesive force means, my dears, adhesive force. Adhesive force means the force of attraction between the molecules, between the two different substances. Same substances is there, then it is, we can call as an cohesive force. If the different substances are there, then we can call as an adhesive force. Yes or no? See here, the force of attraction, the force of attraction between molecules of different substances, right, is called adhesive force. Okay, for example, this is one. Consider this one molecule of different substance, and this is an substances 2, this is an substances 1. So if the forces between these two different molecules, we can call as an adhesive force. Yes or no? Fevicol is there, right? Fevicol. The Fevicol, what will do? When we are attached to two different substances, we are applying the Fevicol. Yes or no? The Fevicol will be an attached to both the substances. Yes or no? Both the materials. Yes or no? So the Fevicol we can call as an adhesive. Yes or no? Adhesive. What force is exist here? Adhesive force. Are you clear? Are you clear about cohesive force and adhesive force?
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by cohesive force? The force of attraction between the molecules of the same substance. Okay. Adhesive force means with the, yeah, the force of attraction between the of a molecules of different substances. Got it? So due to these forces, the surface tension is formed. Due to these forces is only the surface tension is formed. The surface tension is forms if the cohesive force is act with the same substance, then the surface tension will be formed. Okay. Then if it is adhesive force is act, then the surface tension will be attached to two different substances. Okay. For example, if you take a glass tube, in the glass tube if you pour the water, what will happen? The walls of the glass tube, the water will be an attract. Yes or no? It will be rising up. Are you getting my point? So that is an adhesive force. Due to the adhesive force, there also the surface tension will be act. Are you getting my point, everyone? Okay. So now when we come to the surface tension, I said that applications of surface tension. Yes or no? The floating of the needle, walking of the insects onto the surface of the water. Okay. The spherical shape of the water drops. Okay. These are all the applications of surface tension. So what the all the fluids, okay, all the fluids wants to be its surface should be minimum. Okay. Are you getting my point? That's why the all the liquids drops is becoming a form of sphere. Otherwise, see, for example, if you are taking a water drop, if you pour the water here, the water drop, how it will become? So water drop will become in this shape. Yes or no? See here, the water drop will become in this shape. Yes or no? If you pour onto the surface. Are you getting my point? Actually, water drop will be there in the form of spherical. Yes or no? So that means all the liquid, not only the water, all the liquids wants to be its surface should be an minimum. Yes or no? For example, if you are taking a paper, rectangular paper, if we want to make its area should be an minimum, then what we have to do? We have to make it in a form of sphere, circle. Then only the area will be an comes as a minimum. So all the liquids wants to its area should be an minimum. Why? Because all the liquids, all the fluids, it's have to be maintain its minimum energy. Are you getting my point? Because to stable, all the liquids wants to be stable. If the substances wants to be stable, then its energy should be an minimum. So to make a minimum energy, then its surface it makes as an sphere. So it will be contract to each and every corner of the area, then it will become as an sphere. Okay, the surface tension will be an different in different liquids. It depends upon the liquids. Okay, different liquids has the different surface tension. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? So let see what is the surface tension. We are going to be defined in the two different definitions. Both the definitions are very much important. Okay, one of the definition will speak about the force, another definition will speak about the surface energy. Okay, see here, for example, if you take any, see here, it is an liquid. Okay, it is a liquid drop. So in this liquid drop, what we have to do, we have to a imaginary line, we have to draw a imaginary line. So let it be, this is the imaginary line of a surface of a water drop or any liquid drop. Okay, on this imaginary line, if this drop is in equilibrium, equilibrium means it is in rest, then what will happen? This imaginary line is balanced by the forces, balance forces, yes or no? Yes. So balance forces, one of the force will act towards the right side, another force is act towards to the left side. Yes or no? Got it? So these forces will balanced by the imaginary line. Got it? Are you getting my point? So the surface tension is defined as force upon unit length, force upon length. For example, consider if it is an L length of the imaginary line, then it will comes as an force upon length. Got it? So surface tension T is equal to F by L. Got it? So F is equal to, if you know the surface tension, then we can find out the force. Force is equal to what, my dears? Surface tension into its length. So that means T into L. Got it? This is the force. This force will be act onto the imaginary line. Understand? Understand clearly, everyone? Now the force is a vector quantity. Force is a vector quantity, right? So this is the magnitude. F is equal to T into L is a vector quantity. Now what is the direction? Direction of force is act along the surface, act along the surface of a liquid, act along the, see here, this is the surface of a liquid, it is act along the surface of a liquid. Yes or no? Act along the surface of a liquid and perpendicular to the imaginary line, and perpendicular to the imaginary line. Perpendicular to the imaginary. This is the direction. Are you getting my point? Then what is the SI units for surface tension? We know that Newton meter. It is an Newton meter. Got it, everyone? Do you understand? This is one of the definition. What is the definition now? Says that surface tension is defined as the force acting on the imaginary line. The force acting on the imaginary line along with the liquid surface perpendicular to the imaginary line per unit length is called as an surface tension. That is the first definition. Got it? So what is the first definition? Can you please repeat it? The force acting on the imaginary line perpendicular to the imaginary line and along with the surface per unit length is called as an surface tension. Got it? Can you please make a note of it? Then we can continue our class. Okay. So see here, if it is on surface of a liquid, on the surface of a liquid there is an needle is placed. This needle is float due to the surface tension. Yes or no? So first, can you please see the experiment, then we can discuss. Dear students, see carefully. Once we drop the needle into the water, the needle is floating on a water. It's only due to the surface tension. That means the weight of the needle is balanced by the surface tension along its length. You saw the experiment, right? So the floating of the needle. See here, the needle is floating here. So if you see the front view, then what will happen? It is on side view. If you see the front view, see here, if it is a needle, if it is a needle, the surface, see here, the surface of the liquid will touch like this. Yes or no? It will be touched like this. Now, for example, this is an angle is theta. This is an angle of theta. If the needle is in equilibrium, that means the needle is floating onto the surface of a liquid as we saw in the experiment. So who will balance the weight of the needle? Who will balance? Is the surface tension? Yes or no? Who will balance this? Surface of the liquid? Yes or no? So how much it is? See here, the force, if you want to write the, see here, this is an T, this is an surface tension T. Got it? So if you divide the components, if you divide the components of the surface tension, then it is an T cos theta and it is an T sin theta. See here, the horizontal components, both the horizontal components will cancel out to each other and vertical components are added to each other. This surface tension is balanced to mg of this needle. So this is an mg. Mg act towards to the downwards, and if you divided the, see here, the both the vertical components are added here and balanced by the mg. What is the length of this needle? Let's the length of this needle is considered as an L. Then TL sin theta. See here, TL sin theta. How many TLs? Two components will add to each other. Yes or no? Two sides of the components. All the two sides of the component. See, if you take a needle, if it is a needle, okay, here total T will be act. This side also total T will be an act. So both the surface areas of the needle tension will be act. These two tension of the vertical components will be added and horizontal components is cancelled out to each other. And these two vertical components is balanced by the mg, that is weight of the needle. So 2TL sin theta is equal to mg. Got it? Are you getting my point? So this is the equation. Okay, in the same manner, the second definition of the surface tension can be defined of the surface energy based upon the surface energy. For example, can you please see this, the video? That means, can you please see the experiment first? Then we can discuss the second definition of the surface tension. My dear students, once the rectangular frame is dipped into the soap liquid, the soap film is formed in a rectangular frame. See now, the soap film is pulling back the wire to make its surface a minimum. So that means the soap film has the surface energy, that energy is pulling back the wire. Work done by the external force is stored as an surface energy. Okay, so you saw the experiment, right? So make up the soap film. Yes or no? We took the rectangular frame, and on the rectangular frame there is in the rectangular frame what we arrange? There is one needle. a needle, or we can also call as an wire. We are arranged. How it will be, my dears? See here. So this is a rectangular frame. So this rectangular frame, we arrange a wire here in between of the two sides of the rectangular frame. Two sides of the rectangular frame. Yes or no? So once we dip this total frame into the soap water and we make it out, then it form a soap film. What is formed, my dears? Its total soap film is formed. Do you saw in the experiment, right? It is an soap film. Soap film is formed. Yes, sir. So in the experiment, if you are made to stretch here, if you apply the external force, F external, if you apply the external force and if you leave it, then what will happen? It will go back into the initial stage. Yes or no? It will come to here. You saw in the experiment, right? So again it will come to initial point. That means this soap film, the surface of the soap film has the energy to pull it back. That means I already said that in the beginning itself, the surface is always tries to minimize its area. Yes or no? That's why if you extended this wire, once I left out, what will happen? It will go back. Got it? Due to the energy which is stored in the surface of the soap film. Yes or no? Let's consider. So it is the initial stage. Okay, initial stage of a frame. Here the soap film is forms here. Now what I did, I use the external force and pull x distance. How much distance, my dear? Up to here I pulled this. Up to here I pulled. Here also the soap film is formed. Yes or no? Yes or no, my dears? Soap film is formed. So when I applied the force and the wire is displaced in the same direction, that means I did the positive work. I did the positive work. Yes or no? Work done by the external force, where it's gone? It will be stored in the form of surface energy. That's why once I left this wire, immediately what will happen? It will go back. Somebody will pull. Who will pull this back to its original shape? Who will pull? Is a soap film, surface of the soap film. Yes or no? So that means the work done by an external agent. Okay, the work done by an external agent is equal to what is, my dears? Surface energy is equal to surface energy. It's stored in surface energy. Yes or no? How much work I did? That means force into displacement. Force is how much, my dears? F force into. Are you getting my point? So force F into displacement. Yes. How much displacement? It is an x. How much the force, my dears? It is an 2TL. Yes or no? It is an 2TL. 2TL. Got it? 2TL into x is equal to what, my dears? Surface energy. Now see here, surface energy upon area. Okay, surface energy upon area. What is the surface energy here? 2LTX upon area is how much, my dears? Extended area. L into X. L into X. Two surfaces, right? Front surface and back surface. That means 2L into X. See here, 2 get cancelled, L get cancelled, X get cancelled. What is comes? T. Oh, what is that? Surface tension. That means surface energy per area is equal to surface tension. Yes or no? So we can write here surface tension is equal to surface energy upon area, extended area. Yes or no? So if I know the surface tension, can I find out the surface energy? Yes or no? So surface energy is equal to surface tension into area. That means surface energy is equal to surface tension into area. Got it? That means if I know the surface tension, then I can able to find out the force. Yes or no? Force is equal to what, my dears? We already said that force is equal to tension multiply with length. For a surface tension, if I multiplied with the length, what it comes? Force is comes. If surface tension is multiplied with the area, then what will come? Surface energy. What it will come? Surface energy will come. Are you getting my point? Yes sir. So this is the second definition. Second definition is says that the surface energy upon the area, surface energy of a given area of a liquid is gives the surface tension. Are you getting my point? There are two definitions. We understand all the two definitions. Okay. One is surface tension is equal to force upon length. Surface tension is equal to surface energy upon area. Got it? Can you please make a note of it? Then we can go further with this experiment. Okay? Got it? Can you please make a note of it? See here now. If you are taking a liquid drop whose radius is considered as an R radius of water drop. This water drop is make into the n number of drops. Okay, n number of drops. See here, like this, the small drops are made it with a big drop whose small drop radius is considered as an smaller. How many drops we made it like that, man, my dear? So n number of drops we divide. A big drop is divided into n number of small drops. Then he says that find out the work done. Okay, find out the work done by the external force to make a n number of small drops, and also he says that to find the small r value as well. Okay, small r value also we can be able to find out. Got it? So now what is the question? Find the work done by a external agent find the work done by a external agent to divide a big drop into n number of small drops. What drops it is? Fluid drops. Okay. Now see here. So what is the initial energy here? Initial energy, my dears, I initial is equal to initial energy. Whose surface tension? Consider the whose surface tension is T. This is the constant. T is a constant. Surface tension is a constant because with the same materials, with the same liquid, we are making a n number of small drops. So surface tension will be same for the same liquid. Yes or no? Surface tension is different for different liquid, same for the same liquid. So surface tension T is same. So initial energy how much, my dears? Initial energy, surface tension into area. Yes or no? Just now we learned it. So energy is equal to surface tension into area. What is the area here? 4 pi r square. 4 pi r square. Yes or no? Now we made it n number of drops. So then how we can find out this small r in terms of capital R? We can find out with the help of volume. See here, the volume will not be changed, right? The area is changes. Small drops will have the small areas, big drop will have the big area. But volume is same. Yes or no? The volume of the big drop is equal to volume of the total n number of small drops. Got it? So from that we can find out the R value, radius. Okay. So how it will be? So 4 by 3 pi R cube is equal to n into 4 by 3 pi small r cube. Yes or no? So here 4 by 3 pi get cancelled. Then how much it is? R is equal to r cube upon n power 1 by 3. So that means r upon n power 1 by 3. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Got it? So this is the small r value in terms of capital R. Understand? Now, so final energy of this total small drop, final energy is how much, my dears? Again, tension into 4 pi r. Here r is a small r square. So that is equal to T into 4 pi. Small r is how much, my dears? R square upon, see here, T into n, right? T into n number of drops. Yes or no? So now 4 pi r is nothing but, here r value is r upon n power 1 by 3. So r square upon n power 2 by 3. How much will come, my dears? T into n power 1 by 3, 1 by 2. Yes or no? 1 by 2. It comes as minus 1. So 3. 1 by 3. Yes or no? And 4 pi r square. Got it? Understand? This is the final energy. Now what is there? The difference of the energies are equal to work done. Yes or no? Work done by the external agency here. Work done by the external force is equal to final minus initial energy. So what is the final energy here? That is equal to T n power 1 by 3 4 pi r square minus T 4 pi r square. Now see here, n power 1 by 3 minus 1 whole power T into 4 pi r square. So this is an work done by the external agent. Are you getting my point? Understand? So here in the questions, in the example questions, he will give the surface tension liquid as the surface tension value will give, and then he will give the capital R value, and he will say the how many number of drops can be made. Like that also he can be asked. Otherwise he will give the small n value also, and he will say that what is the work done by the external agent, then can also be asked in the examinations. Got it? But to solve all these problems, we want a conceptual understanding. What is the conceptual understanding here? We took a big drop and made it into n number of small drops. Yes or no? So what is the constant here? Volume is constant. So work done is nothing but work done by the external agent is the conceptual understanding. Work done by the external agent is initial energy, and we made it the n number of drops, its final energy. So final energy minus initial energy is equal to where it's gone? Work done. So whatever the work we done to break the big drop into a n number of small drops, that work done, where it's gone? It's gone in the form of energies. It's gone in the form of energy. Yes or no? The work done, total work done, what the work we did, and to break the big drop into small drop, it converted into the energy. Whose energy will be more? It is a small drop energy or big drop energy? Small drop energy is more comparing to the big drop energy. That means the work which we done, the total work is converted into the final energy. That is, the energy is increases. Yes or no? So the work done is stored in the form of energy. That's why the energy is increases in the small drop. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Yes or no? So can you please make a note of it? Okay, for example, let it be, if it is asked the vice versa, that means n number of small drops are there and we make with the big drop, then what will happen? Yes or no? So that means the higher energy is converted into lower energy. Then what will happen? That energy, where it's gone? Here the small drops are there. Small drops will have the more energy. Once we make it a big drop, then what will happen? For big drop, energy is less comparing to the small drops. Then where that energy is gone? Then the scientist says that that energy is converted into heat. That energy is converted into heat. So sometimes he may ask about the heat also. He mixed with the heat. So what will happen here? See here, n 1 by 3 minus 1 into T 4 pi r square. So this work done is converted into heat. Yes or no? That is equal to ms delta T. So now m is nothing but what, my dears? Density into volume. So let it be considered this density is an rho. Then what will happen? Rho volume is an 4 by 3 pi r cube, 4 by 3 pi r cube s into delta T. He will going to ask how much temperature is increases. Yes or no? So n power 1 by 3 minus 1 into T 4 pi r square. So this is the equation. If you go for the vice versa process, what the question he will ask? If a n number of small drops is make a big drop, then how much temperature is increases? Okay, so what is the answer here? We can find out the temperature. If he gives the specific heat of the liquid and density of the liquid, then radius, we can find out the change in temperature. Yes or no? The initial temperature minus final temperature. Are you getting my point? Change in temperature, final temperature minus initial temperature. From that, the change in temperature we can easily find out. Are you getting my point? So what is the total conceptual understanding? Simple. The big drop has the low energy, small drops have the more energy. So if the big drop is break into the small drops, then the work done is converted into increasing of its energy. How much energy is increases? N power 1 by 3 minus 1 into T 4 pi r square. That much of energy is increases. Vice versa, if the small drops are make a big drop, then the work done is stored in the form of increasing of the temperature. So how much the value of increasing of the temperature? We can find out with this equation. That is n power 1 by 3 minus 1 into T 4 pi r square is equal to rho 4 by 3 pi r square pi r cube into, it is an s ms delta t. Okay, are you getting my point? Everyone, can you please make a note of it? Then we can go for the further. Do you have the conceptual understand? Yes or no? Yeah, make a note of it, then we can continue. Now we can learn excess pressure in a liquid drop. Okay. Excess pressure in a liquid drop. See why the pressure will be an excess. Okay, see here, if you take a drop, this is a drop of water. Okay, drop of water. It is not a bubble. Okay, it is a drop. Drop means, you know, right, the difference between the bubble and drop. Bubble will have the inside also air will be there and outside also air will be there. Yes or no? In the bubble. But in the drop, only outside air will be there, inside it is completely filled with the liquid. Yes or no? So this is a total. What is this, my dear? It is a drop, water drop. So now see here, P out, pressure outside and pressure inside. Got it? How much forces will be act here? See, once we are going to be to understand the excess pressure, which pressure is more, inside pressure or outside pressure? Which pressure is more? Outside pressure. See, if an outside pressure is more, then what will happen? This water drop will be and shrink. Yes or no? It will become a small, but it's not so happen. So it will be an bulge. Whenever we are taking the water drop will be an bulge according to its volume. That means the inside of the pressure is put it onto the atmospheric pressure. That's why the atmospheric air will be an goes away from the liquid drop. Yes or no? So that means the liquid drop will be occupy its own volume. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? That means in general understanding, if you think very carefully, then inside pressure is more than outside pressure. So the difference between the inside pressure and outside pressure is we can call excess pressure. How much pressure is more? How can we find out? We can find out as an inside pressure minus outside pressure. Yes or no? Because inside pressure is be more comparing to the outside pressure. That's why it can occupy its own volume. Are you getting my point? If the outside pressure is more, then what will happen? It will be shrink. Is it a shrink or it will be bulge? So that means it is always bulging. Are you getting my point? The water drop, it occupies its own volume due to its own pressure. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? So now, how many forces is act here? See here, inside force. So P inside into area. Area is how much, my dears? Pi r square. Yes or no? Then outside, P out. See here, P out into pi r square. This only the forces will act? No, another force is also. This force is act on, see here, if you take here, if you cut it, see here, if you cut this total drop, see the forces which will be act here, one is an outside force, another is an inside force, but the surface force is also will be there, right? The surface of the liquid force also will be there, that is tension into its length. Yes or no? That force will also be act. So see here, if you are cut this, then it will come like this. No, see here, if you are carefully observe, why we are cut here? Because to understand the surface force. See here, the force will be act along the line, the force act along with the surface and perpendicular to the line. Yes or no? See like this. These boundaries of a surface force is also act. So this force is act towards to the left. This force is also act towards to the left, and this force is act towards to the right. Are you getting my point? So this total pressure difference is a excess pressure in a liquid. Yes or no? So now how much? See here, P in into pi r square is equal to P out into pi r square plus how much force it is? T into L. L is an how much, my dears? 2 pi r. Yes or no? T into 2 pi r. So plus T into 2 pi r. Got it now? See here, P in minus P out. P in minus P out is equal to pi r square. See here, pi r square is equal to T 2 pi r. P in minus P out is equal. Now how much here? Pi get cancelled and square and r get cancelled. Now P in minus P out is equal to how much, my dears? 2T by r. This is the pressure excess. Yes or no? Excess of pressure, how much, my dears, in a liquid drop? 2T by R. 2T by R. If you are taking as an excess pressure in a air bubble, see, air bubble, if you take a air bubble, what will happen? So air bubble will be like this. See here, air bubble will have the outside also the air, inside also air will be there. Yes or no? If you cut it, so what will happen? It will come like this. See here. See here now. So how many surfaces are there, my dears? There are two surfaces will be there. Yes or no? Two surfaces will be there. So here, if you write this, P in minus P out into pi r square is equal to T into 4 pi r. Yes or no? 4 pi r. Because two surfaces are there, two lengths are there. Got it? One length is on pi r, 2 pi r, another length is 2 pi r. Total is on 4 pi r. T into 4 pi r. Are you getting my point? T 2 pi r plus T 2 pi r. Because two surfaces are there. Inside one surface and outside one surface. That means the total surface length is on, one length is on pi r. That means uppermost length is on T into pi r, 2 pi r. Inside length is on how much? T into 2 pi r. So total is on T into 4 pi r. So here pi get cancelled, r and square get cancelled. So what is will come? P in minus P out is equal to 4T by r. See here. What is the conceptual understanding we have to remember here? See, there are two things we have to keep in mind. So instead of to memorized as an excess pressure in a liquid drop is 2T by R, instead of that, if you are memorized in a such a way that one surface, only one surface, then excess pressure is comes as an 2T by R. If it is on two surfaces are there, two surfaces, where it will come? In the air bubble. Okay, two surfaces will begin, it will come as an 4T by R. Got it? Do you understand, everyone? Understand? Yes or no?
Sir.
So now what will happen? The conceptual understanding here is, if you take as an excess pressure in a liquid drop, then P out in P in, where the pressure will be on more? Pressure will be more in the inside. Instead of we are memorized as an inside, we have to memorize in a such a way that the pressure will be on more at the concave surface. Okay, see, this is a water drop, right? This is a drop. So if you are break it, so where the pressure will be there? In the inside. So that means to say that if you take the hemisphere, then what will happen? How we can say that? Inside. So we can memorize in a such a way that, so the pressure will be on more in a concave surface comparing to convex surface. See here, concave surface will be on more pressure than convex surface. Where the pressure will be more? Convex surface. Towards to the convex surface is the pressure is more. Are you getting my point? Why we are memorizing like this? Because when we are learning about the capillary rise, then we have to use this technique. Understand? Because it is not a bubble, right? It is a surface, concave and convex meniscus. We can call as a concave and convex meniscus. There we can use this technique. Where the excess is, where the pressure is more? At the concave surface. Where the pressure is less? At the convex surface. Got it? Can you please make a note of it? Then we can go for the further. Now we are going to learn about the rising of a air bubble in a lake. So we are very familiar in our day-to-day life. We saw so many times in a aquarium, the bubbles are rising up from the machine. Yes or no? So if you are carefully observe that the bubble which is made by a machine, once it is rising up, the size of the bubble is increases or decreases, or it will remain same? It will increases, right? So bubble will be very small when it is come out from the machine. Once it is rising up in the water, what will happen? Its size is increases. Then the question will going to ask how much radius is increases. Okay, sometime he will ask what is the height of the if the radius is given, the final radius is given, then he will say that what is the height of the lake. These are all the variables he will going to be asked in the examinations. So we will going to be better understand about the what is the mechanism, what is the conceptual understanding behind the rising of the bubble in a aquarium. Okay, so here rising of a air bubble in a lake. Okay, so rising of a air bubble in a lake. See here, now if you consider this here, this is an aquarium or lake, whatever it may be, you can imagine. So now the height of this lake is considered as an h height, and the density of the liquid is considered as an rho. Okay, now here there is an air bubble is come out from the machine. Let it be this air bubble is like this, it's come out with an radius small r, with the radius is small r, smaller radius of air bubble is came out. Once it is goes up, see here, once it is goes up, the size of the air bubble is going to be increases, yes or no? So it will become like this, a big bubble will be formed once it is rising up, whose radius is considered is an r radius. Are you getting my point? So now here the conceptual understanding, what will be that remains constant here. So to understand this phenomena, we know very well P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2, yes or no? So P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. So what is the initial pressure here? So P initial is equal to, see here, P naught plus rho g h P naught. See here, it is a P naught, right? Atmospheric pressure. So P naught plus rho g h minus 2T by small r. Yes or no? The excess pressure of a air bubble. Yes or no? Here 2T by r or 4T by r. It is an air bubble, right? We are saying air bubble, right? So when we are saying air bubble, so most of the students, they are putting the value as an 4T by r. Okay. Here the air bubble, okay, here the air bubble, the excess of pressure in a air bubble, that air bubble is different, this air bubble is different. That air bubble, what we said, that inside of the bubble is also air will be there, and outside also air will be there. Here only inside the air, but the outside total is in water. That means how many surfaces are there here? Only one surface which is exposed to the air, only one surface, right? So that's why we are writing as an 2T by r instead of 4T by r. Are you getting my point? Why I said that in the previous equation? So instead of we are memorized as an water drop and air bubble, instead of that, so most of the students, what they are memorize that, if they said that water drop, if you said that drop, if you heard the word as a drop, directly they will write the excess pressure is an 2T by r. If you heard the bubble, then directly they will write a 4T by r, but it is not like that. Are you getting my point? So memorize in such a way that one surface 2T by r, two surfaces 4T by r. Got it? So here is an 2T by r, because only one surface which is exposed to the air, the other surface is mixed with the water. Yes or no? So even though we can call as an air bubble only, yes or no? Because air is there in the inside, so that's why air bubble we can call. So what is the initial? pressure here? The initial pressure, my dears, initial pressure is equal to P naught atmospheric pressure plus rho GH due to the liquid column minus excess pressure is an 2T by R. So here, what is the initial volume here? V initial is equal to how much, my dears? Volume 4 by 3 pi small r cube. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? In the same manner, we can write final pressure. Final pressure is how much, my dears? P naught plus only the excess pressure, that is 2T by capital R. Now it is an capital R. Once it is touched to the surface of the liquid column, then it is an P naught plus excess pressure is an 2T R. Okay. What is the final? Final volume is equal to, my dears, how much the final volume? Simple, 4 by 3 pi capital R cube. Now we can balance it. Okay. See here, P naught plus rho GH minus 2T by small r into volume is an 4 by 3 pi small r cube is equal to P naught plus 2T by capital R into 4 by 3 pi capital R cube. So this is the equation. So from this equation, whatever you require, you can find out. How many variables are there here, my dears? Consider H is a variable, T is a variable, R is a variable. Okay, that's it. 3 variables are there: height, tension, and R. Tension is also constant, right? Because from initial to final, total is an constant only. That means there are only 3 variables are there. One is an height of the liquid column, second is an small r, radius of the small bubble, and radius of the capital bubble. Okay, the 3 variables are there. If any 2 variables are given, the third variable we can be able to find out very easily. Understand everyone? So are you getting my point? So it is very easy to find out with this equation. Can you please make a note of it? See, for example, this is the final equations, right? So here is the final equation. Okay, can you please make a note of it, everyone? See more. In our day-to-day life, many small children are playing. They are taking the soap liquid in a glass and put it a straw and a blow. So once they are blowing, what will happen? The air bubbles will form and rising up. Yes or no? Did you saw this? See here. So if you take an glass and it has a soap liquid, soap water or soap liquid, whatever it may be. So once we put it the straw here, and once it is once we are blowing here, what will happen? The bubbles are rising up. Yes or no? So once the bubbles are rising like this, so if you take any 2 bubbles, okay, one is a small bubble like this here, another is a big bubble. Sorry. The big bubble radius is considered as an R2 and small bubble radius is considered as an R1. Okay. Now the first question is, let it consider this is an second boundary, this is an first boundary. Okay, this is an third boundary. When the 2 bubbles are attached to each other, one is the big bubble, another is small bubble, then which surface is formed? Whether it is on first one, second one and third one. Which one is formed? Which one? Is the third one? Third one? Okay, let me see. Which layer is to be formed? The combination of 2 air bubbles. Okay, let's consider by the conceptual understanding. So what is the pressure here? Pressure inside the small bubble. What is the pressure inside the small bubble? It is an P naught plus 4T by, let's consider this one R1. So R1, so already we said that R1 is the radius. So we said that here R2 is greater than R1. So this is the pressure inside of the small bubble. What is the pressure inside of the big bubble? It is an P naught plus 4T by R2. What is an outside? P naught. Here also outside pressure is P naught. Inside is, this is the inside pressures. Now if you carefully observe, so R2 is greater than R1. See here, R1 is a less value. So R1 is in denominator. So once we are put it the less value, this total value become big. Here the R2 value is more. So once put it the more value in the denominator, then total value will be become less. Yes or no? So that means this pressure is greater than this pressure. Yes or no? That means pressure of small bubble, pressure of small bubble is greater than pressure of big bubble. Do you understand? So which layer is formed now? Thus first layer. Yes or no? The final figure will be comes like this. See here, this is the final. This is the final diagram. This layers is formed because it is a more pressure comparing to this layer. Are you getting my point? First question. Okay. The second question is, how much the radius of curvature of this boundary line? Let's consider the radius of curvature of this boundary line is small r. So can we find out the small r? Yeah, we can find out very easily. Yes or no? So that means the pressure difference of, see here, P naught plus 4T by R1 minus P naught minus 4T by R2 is equal to, it's balanced by the total inside pressure of a curvature. Yes or no? That means there is a 4T by small r. Got it? So here P naught get cancelled, 4T get cancelled. Now we can find out very easily, R is equal to how much, my dears? R1 R2 by R1 minus R2. It will come like that. Yes or no? R1 R2 by R2 minus R1. Yes or no? R2 minus R1. Got it? This is the radius, final radius of a curvature. Are you getting my point? And another conceptual understanding in a rising of a air bubble is, see here, the rising of the air bubble, why the air bubble is rising up? Why can't it stay there only? Why it is rising up? Because the conceptual understanding is very clear. The weight of the air bubble is greater than the buoyancy force. Then only it will float, right? According to the law of flotation, we know very well. So when the bubble is rising up, is nothing but the weight of the air bubble is less than the buoyancy force. That means buoyancy force is greater. You can make it a note of it, note point. So why the air bubble is rising up? Because due to the buoyancy. Okay. Why air bubble moving up? Question. Answer is, my dears, due to buoyancy. That means weight of air bubble is less than buoyancy. Are you getting my point? So this is the conceptual understanding. Okay. So can you please make a note of it? Then we can continue our lesson. So do you understand, everyone?
Sir.
Today's class, the conceptual understanding and the mechanism behind all the equations, phenomenons, surface phenomenon, everything. Okay. So tomorrow we will going to be continue our class. Okay. Can you please make a note of it and we can continue the class on tomorrow.